A photograph is like a recipe. The memory is the finished dish. And that is by Carrie Laytet. And I have a second quote. Photography is a way of feeling, of touching, of loving. What you have caught on film is captured forever. It remembers little things long after you've forgotten everything. And that's by Erin Siskind. And this time of year is a time when a lot of our memories are planted because it's holiday time. So there's unusual things. There's music, there's art, there's decorations, there's events, there's families getting together, there's family drama. Um, there's work when we're photographers. There's a lot of work around helping other people keep their memories alive. So today, in a ho 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 holiday mood, I just decided that I would share some memories, both my own personal life and connection to being a photographer and how holidays have impacted that. And anywho, so whether you're listening to this on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's, or on in the future, I just want to wish you the most wonderful, special bunch of memories, whether you've got big families, little families, on vacation, sitting at home watching a Wonderful Life, or whatever you're up to. I'm sending my heart out to you for this. So, as I was pondering what kinds of memories I could share, and by the way, I would love it if you would post either on the podcast or on YouTube. I would love, or Instagram, I would love for you to share some of your holiday memories with me. Anywho, I realized a lot of my memories when I was trying to think about, okay, at this time of my life, what do I remember? So many of them I remember because there was a photograph. One of the ones that I definitely don't think I would remember without this snapshot is when I was maybe 8. Our backyard was a huge dirt lot. Later, they built a church on it. My dad was a pastor and he supervised uh, the design and the effort of the church. But for many of my years in this little church parsonage, it was a dirt lot. And I don't know when mom and dad put the dry tree with a little bit of tinsel still on it out in the dirt. But my brother and I spent the afternoon doing Christmas over and over again. We wandered around picking up rocks and different things. We had some, I think we had some wrapping paper that was left over, or even newspaper, and we would wrap it up and we would gift and we would open new gifts. So that was one of those fun little times. And I'm pretty sure that there's a picture of it. I have such a clear picture in my mind. Anyway, so I want to celebrate the fact that what we're doing helps keep people's lives alive for them. My parents, from before I was born, sent Christmas cards with photos of our family. There was a precious one when my brother and sister were little and I was not here yet, of them uh, in their PJs in a bedroom, kneeling and praying. It was so cute. There's the horrible one where I was at that awkward age. As the little one, sometimes I was like not smiling good, but kind of shy. And all the way until maybe 2 years before my mom passed away, she, and with our help after a certain point, sent out cards with pictures to people. And it inspired me from about 12 to do, I used to do handmade Christmas cards. And then eventually, when I had a business, then I made sure, and this is a tip for you, I made sure I got current addresses from my clients. So I would send out a holiday greeting every single year. I missed one during COVID. I just was sort of feeling isolated, and it felt so weird that I was like, no, I got to do this again. Even though other people don't send them back, I don't care. I want people to know I love them. I'm thinking of them, that my clients, that I value them. Um, During my busiest times, I would have maybe 500 that I would send out, and those were handpicked. Those were people that I wanted to come back, or I just, I felt such a connection to these clients that I wanted them to know that I still think about them. And honestly, I got so many clients back because I stayed in touch. Because if the card came back with wrong address, I would correct it or I would reach out and find out new addresses. So, one of my business tips here in my holiday memories extravaganza is to keep a robust email list. Sorry, not email, but snail mail list and send out physical things. My recommendation is at least a quarterly postcard, just saying hello, and it could have an interesting photograph or a nice graphic, not a sales pitch. Just, you know, keeping us top of mind. So that's a little um, New Year's resolution I would recommend to you. Okay, so let me think about um, when I was young, old grandmas, old aunts, great grandmas. First of all, they dressed in these house coats, and they were wonderful cooks, and they all had little short hair that they would put curlers or they would go to the beauty shop. And so the memories of those times when we had big Thanksgiving or Christmas meals together with these family members, those are some of the special things. And one of the scary things was the Jello salads. And I don't know if anyone that's listening had those same kinds of things that are like, why? What are these about? Um, there were a few that were good. The ones that had cream cheese and cherry jello and some other kinds of things. There were some weird ones that had like lime jello and carrots and celery and other miscellaneous things that I don't think we should call it salad. Anyway, so I have these pictures in my mind of these lovely times. And my grandmother, which she passed this to my mother, and my sister and I made the best pumpkin pie. The crust was perfection. And one of the things about pumpkin pie that I do not like is pumpkin pie spice. She did not use that. She used cinnamon and molasses. I think it's more similar to a sweet potato pie. But if someone doesn't like pumpkin pie, try it sometime with just cinnamon and enough molasses so you get a richness. All right. Um, as a photographer, year after year after year, I really did not have Christmas holiday spirit energy until the last wedding album or the last portrait order was delivered. And usually it was between Christmas and New Year's where I kind of relaxed and kind of drank in the season. Um, One of the things I did for my clients was I would make ornaments with their photographs, and I tried to get my tree up early so that when they came to pick things up, I had this little surprise for them on the tree. And I did make it neutral so that if people were not Christmassy people, but they were Hanukkah or Festivus or none of the above, could still enjoy this little gift. But when I think about the amount of stress getting all of this production done and what the labs went through, and this was before digital, so the labs had to do a lot more physical retouching. Albums took a long time. So I don't miss that part, but I do miss feeling like Santa every time someone came to pick up what was in time for the holidays, and I could gift this to them. So that was a very special part. But I will say, if I could do it all over again or advise somebody, I would definitely get more help, especially at holiday time for uh, now, retouching, just as many things as we could get off our own plates so that you can enjoy the holiday season just like everyone else. One of the things I realized a few years ago was what I think is special about this time of year is it's a time when creativity is the currency. Decorations, um, things that people would make as gifts, music. How much of this season is connected to music for many of us? Um, it's the one time of year when what is valued is that intangible, is contributions from artists and craftsmen. And so I love, love, love that. Stories, writing, plays, all kinds of things that are creative and wonderful. So, okay, what's another question? Oh, or memory. So, I was the Christmas girl. I was the one that would do special things. One year, I was not going to be with my family, and I I loved. So we didn't open presents Christmas morning. We opened them Christmas Eve after church. I don't know why, but that was our tradition. And so stockings were special for the next day. Um, and so I was big on fabric paint and made individual stockings for my family. At the time, I think there were about a dozen of us when you get the married people and all of that before babies came along. Anyhow, so the next year I got into fabric paint doing sweatshirts, which was a thing. I think it was 80s that we really got into fabric paint. And I made sweatshirts for each of my family members. My dad's, I used the first name of his three kids and did like a Scrabble. So, the my brother Philip, I connected the I in my name and Chris, and he wore that. He loved it. Anywho, so at the holiday time at my parents' house, um, we were making more. I'm not sure how that all worked out, but my boyfriend at the time, Tom, um, was doing something creative, and and those fabric paints, if it's got glitter in it, it can get stuck in the tip. And he was squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, and all of a sudden it exploded and hit the ceiling. And I will never forget the look on his face of like an 8-year-old boy that was in serious trouble. Um, and of course, we all laughed, and my parents are easygoing, so they just laughed. And I don't know, there still might be glitter up there on that ceiling 30 years later, but that was a fun one. Let's see. One of the lovely times And I was just talking to a neighbor this morning on the porch about it, is I was flying home for some reason from somewhere at Christmas time, holiday, December, we'll say. And there's a neighborhood that's just a few blocks from my neighborhood that has it strings Christmas lights, and the streets are not a grid. They're kind of windy. They decorate their houses, and almost all of the houses, so it could be, let's see, 70 houses maybe, with these strings of lights. And as I was flying home, I happened to be on the side of the plane where I could look down on my neighborhood, and I saw these strings of lights. And it filled me with joy and really set off that holiday spirit. Let's see, what else? Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to give you a not this time of year holiday, but a fun story about the 4th of July. And it's a business story and a fun story. So, 4th of July is my birthday. And I don't think I've ever worked on my birthday. But this one time, my very best client was having a Christmas party for her husband's business. No, I'm sorry, 4th of July. And I knew there would be lobster in the buffet and just fabulous food. And she always encouraged me when I worked for her to enjoy whatever food was out there. And I was paid somewhere for four figures, maybe five, maybe 10,000. Um, and I still had time to watch fireworks, which always makes it seem like my birthday. So that was a fun 4th of July slash birthday where I got to eat lobster and delicious desserts and get the fireworks. So let's see what else. So one of my family traditions, because my pop was a pastor, and as you might be able to imagine, Christmas Eve was a busy time. And we had to eat something. The kids, we all needed to do something before going to Christmas Eve, but no way was my mom making a meal, a big meal. And one night she was like, "Oh, I've got cans of tomato soup." And she's like, "I'll pop some popcorn." And so we had tomato soup and popcorn, and we all decided that was the perfect Christmas Eve meal for people that have to go somewhere. So now it is a tradition. I love the red pepper tomato soup at Trader Joe's. If you haven't ever tried that, not the low sodium one, that's yucky. Um, and popping some popcorn and eating fudge or whatever's around. So that's one of my memories. I'm going to pause a second, take a breath, and think about other things related to my business. So don't go away. Okay, so I'm back. Hello. So before I go on to another memory, I just want to give you a tip that will make the holidays next year easier on you. And that is to be very generous with telling clients how long it will take for their finished work. And I always tell them 8 to 12 weeks. And if they're ordering, like I always have deadlines for especially albums because the labs get so busy during the holiday time that their turnaround is is slower. So I prepare my clients for that. And most of the time when I've been photographing, fall is a really busy time because people start thinking about the fall photographs to be holiday gifts. And usually there's not time for wall art to be in their home. So I don't promise that unless there's something where they're having a big party and they want to have this in their home, then we figure out what to rush through. And I'm very clear with them about when they need to do their ordering. So a lot of my deliveries of wall art are after December because I get all the things done that need to be under the tree or gifted in any way, mailed uh, before the holidays, and then I have time to edit and color test and get all of the things done for the wall art. So give plenty of time. And here's something I always tell my clients. I don't ever guarantee a date because that is often the one that if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong over and over again. So this is my best effort to have this by this time, and I'll keep you posted. And if I can do it sooner, absolutely, of course, I will. But I am very careful not to promise. Now, if there's something absolutely has to be done, and we want to think about what is the the guide for something has to be uh, done. Um, anyway, I'll charge a rush fee or I leave myself a little space for that emergency. And I charge enough that if I have to redo at my cost, I'm still making money. So I just want to be realistic with people. And also, I don't take on jobs right beforehand that put me in a level of anxiety and busyness that, as I've already said, has made it difficult to enjoy my own life, my own family, my own creativity and music and all the things. So, yeah. So that's a hot little tip from me to you. And starting January, it's not just holiday time that I say that. Let's see. Oh, one of the fun Thanksgiving uh, family stories is the time that when I think I was in high school, we spent the Thanksgiving weekend in a cabin, and my mother baked those wonderful pies in a wood stove. And when we got up in the morning, there were little footprints across the pie. Now, being a homeowner and knowing that having mice around is not something we want, but at the time I did not uh I didn't think about that. I just we sorry, we just thought it was really cute. And so years and years of holiday pies would often be covered with a little mouse track that one of the family, usually me, would put on it just for that memory. So, it's the little things that we treasure at this time of year, right? All right. I think I might be out of memories. Not really. I have thousands more. I'm gonna pause one more time, see if I can come up with something that you'd enjoy. So be right back. Okay, so I did not have children. Life does what it does. But I had two little girls that grew up next door to me that were at my house a lot. And Christmas was a really special time for the three of us. And we always had our decorating day. And Sarah would say, "Okay, let's light all the candles in your house." And that's when I realized how many candles I had. And we had special ornaments. We have this one that is a cat that when you pull its tail, its arms, um, are like wings. It's an angel cat, so it's in the memory of all the cats we've loved and lost. And there was um, a ball, like a crystal ball that we didn't know where it came from. It was small and it just had a little gold string. And then we realized, oh, it was part of an angel. So this was just the angel's head. So every year we'd pull out the angel head and laugh. And there was an ornament, I think they gave it to me, that when you push the button, it looked like an old-fashioned phone with a mouse. I guess mice are the theme for today. And it would play It's a Small World. And my idea of what hell would be is you get on the It's a Small World ride at Disneyland and you never get off. About every 1,000 years, they let you get off the boat, but then it goes right back onto another boat. So the girls love to come over and play that over and over again. I'd be like, no. So anyway, I think that's my holiday greeting to you all. And I'm so grateful that you listen to this show. And if you've got somebody that you would love for me to reach out to an interview, and especially if you can connect us, I would appreciate that. If you want to be on the show and you've got some good stuff that can help other people, I'd love to do that. So just reach out to me. And I hope you have the absolute most amazing year coming up and that all your dreams and all your family times and all your health and everything is sorry, I'm trying to lump the whole world. Anyway, I just visualize for you just an incredible year coming up in your business, in your life, and I love to hear all about it. So, as I said, I would love for you to post a memory on the Instagram of this or on my Facebook or the this is on YouTube. So anywhere that you can do that, I would love, love, love to hear your holiday messages. And that's it for now. So sending you a big Santa-filled, uh, Festivus-filled, Kwanzaa-filled, whatever, bag of love and joy. Okay, bye.